local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR. GTR News. GTR News.
Hello loved ones, I trust you all had a good weekend. So it's time for the afternoon news radio on Ghana Talk Show. As usual, I go by the name Regina Bless. So moving to our headlines. We will refund monies to Muslims we couldn't fly to Mecca. Hajj board. Embark on peaceful demonstrations to deepen Ghana's democratic credential policies. This and more stories coming up.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
The National Hajj Board has given assurances that it will refund the monies of Muslim pilgrims who have paid but have not been airlifted to Saudi Arabia for the 2022 Hajj. According to the board, it is unable to fly out all the pilgrims who have paid for the expected amount due to a limited quota Ghana was assigned by the Saudi authorities. The communications director for the Hajj board, Abdul Rahman Kumda, in a City News interview said the board is aware of the discontent of many of the pilgrims who have been left disappointed at the Hajj village, because they expected to have left the country for Saudi Arabia for the 2022 Hajj. However, it is not able to do much for them due to the cap placed on the number of Ghanaian pilgrims Saudi authorities will allow into the country. City News were able to interview some of the pilgrims. Let's go listen to what they had to say.
The yearly journey to Mecca in Saudi Arabia was suspended for 2 years following the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Countries across the globe imposed restrictions on travels and annual events. With the easing of the COVID-19 restrictions, religious bodies resumed activities put on hold. One of such events is the Hajj. A little over 3,000 Ghanaians are expected to embark on the 1-month spiritual exercise, which forms part of the 5 pillars of Islam. The first flight of Ghanaian pilgrims departed the country on June 20, 2022 from the Tamale airport to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Some persons who showed up at the Hajj village in Accra for the final trip say they have been left stranded.
Last 3 years, 2019, I made a payment for my father to go to Hajj. I made that payment, that is 19,500. So for hoping to go on 2020. So 2020, because of the COVID, there were no Hajj. 2021, the same thing. So the Hajj board asked us to leave our money. So in case there's increment, it will not affect us. So we leave our money for this year. And they came and asked us to add 7,000. We paid that 7,000. So our agent told us that our flight will be leaving on this Thursday. We came here, we didn't get the passport, we didn't get a visa. He promised us Friday, that is yesterday. The same thing, we didn't get the passport, we didn't get the visa.
3 good years. Majami sika amomo amenso kra me ye bojo ni ankasa sika no metimi dia so me amase e wo kroma and the sabika fracture sese a bibia aboa ye den me so anka metima ye nipa kakra wo but me jama se me ye de me yi takaichi afiri me ma me side e de ama me ma me so ide wakwa bompaye enye se omo kwakwa ye bibia o omo ko bompaye ne won ko bi da kura asem ni o enye se bia wakobi da mponi na yakasa se wakobi da mpo ne won ko bi da asem na yewom e se ya surrounded wa hanuma won se bi kwa akwikwa ya twa sika tatatata no ye na yeda gusu a yesu.
The government and then the board should sympathize with those who have paid their money 2 years ago, because we are all Muslims.
We are GTR.
And then all what they said, they have betrayed the pilgrims, especially those who paid their money first. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Lima takuluna ma la taf'alun. Kabura maktan inda lahi an takulu ma la taf'alun. Why do you say what you don't do? Anything that you say, you need to do it. And it is a grievous wrong in the sight of Allah. for saying something without implementing it.
The Director of Communications for the Hajj Board, Alhaji Rahman Gomda, explains that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has restricted the number of persons expected from each country.
Every country is given a quota. Last year we had 6,000 pilgrims were scheduled to travel. 2 years ago, 6,000. Unfortunately, COVID came. We thought the next year it was going to be possible. It wasn't possible. So for 2 years, it hasn't been possible. The Saudi authorities, they have a special ministry for Hajj. They have decided that, look, Ghana should be given a quota of 3,069. Now, you would realize that under the circumstances, not everybody will be able to go. As a result of which, you are seeing these agitations and discontentment.
The pilgrims also claim that despite paying over 19,000 cedis in 2019, priority has been given to those who paid this year. They lament that their agents who make these necessary arrangements on their behalf are yet to communicate with them. The national chairman of the Ghana Hajj Agency Association, Alhaji Alhassan Zakaria, responded to these concerns.
This year was an exceptional year because each and every agent was given only 10 passengers. So the 10 passengers, everybody paid. And still, some of them are still on ground. They haven't had a chance to go. So not that those who paid this year have gone leaving the 2020 people. No, it's not true.
So why haven't you explained the situation to them?
We have done that several times. Even this morning, we went there and you can see the loudspeaker, we talked to everybody that they should have patience. We are working together with the board to help them to see ways we can put them on the flights.
The pilgrims who are unhappy are demanding refunds from the board.
Yeah, there's a say, you assembly, you pass a catch room. Yes, can you hear Diana? Omaton, Ediama 100, Adiama 394. Verify a sick and because I said this year, Saubaqua, you saw 390. Omumba 390. No. So be opportunities so bet my be a man and there are not now. Why am I no one Hajj? Because there's a sky tria, obet me at 390. Omachi $150 for Laya, our honeymoon. From the Maya, be a pay catch rope. Bra outside, bold, so bold, at me, Sikanamo, bold this time also, and Brian.
Me, I don't even need anything from them. I want Ghana government. He should cancel the board and the agency all. And should find the ways people will be traveling to Hajj. That's the only thing I want to Ghana, because the board cannot help us. The agency cannot help us.
The director of the Hajj board says monies received would be refunded to the pilgrims who are unable to travel.
They will have their monies. Who will take their monies? I mean, why are you going to take this spiritually quoted monies and spend? I mean, you will be cursed. Nobody will do that. They will have their monies back.
The pilgrims who are unable to make it to Hajj this year are demanding the refund of over 20,000 cedis paid to the Hajj board. However, management says the monies will be refunded, but at the appropriate time.
Okay, so we all heard what some of the pilgrims had to say. So they are assuring them that their money should be refunded very soon and they should take heart. So moving to our next story. And back on peaceful demonstrations to deepen Ghana's democratic credentials, police says. The police administration has admonished citizens to embark on peaceful demonstrations to deepen the country's democratic credentials. A press statement signed by the Superintendent of Police Ebenezer Tete, Public Relations Officer, Eastern Region and Corporate to the Ghana News Agency commended the people of Kroboland for undertaking a peaceful demonstration on July 1st, 2022. The statement said the demonstration which took place from the Somena Lorry Station to Pong happened peacefully in the community without any incident or violence. It said the demonstration started at about 9 hours and ended about 14 hours later. It is our hope that all future demonstrations will be done in a similar fashion to deepen our democratic credentials as a country and improve law and order. The police reiterated its commitment to providing the necessary protection for citizens who sought to exercise their right to protest in accordance with the law. Moving to our next story, no dynamite explosion at Santa Maria. Mr. Mohammed Bashiru, the municipal chief executive for Ghana Central, has debunked rumors that there was a dynamite explosion at Santa Maria, a rocky area in Accra. There were media reports that a dynamite blast occurred at Santa Maria on Tuesday at about 15 hours. Mr. Bashiru told the Ghana News Agency on Wednesday that preliminary investigations by an intelligence team for the Ministry of Defense and other security agencies showed that no blast had occurred in the area. He added that though the actual incident leading to a victim, Georgina Fiave, suffering an injury on her toe, was yet to be established, the team confirmed that there was no blast. Experts from the Ministry of Defense, the Intelligence Unit, and other security agencies were on the ground this morning. We were looking up to see topsoil destroyed, damaged buildings, and evidence of explosion. We combed the entire area without finding any evidence, the MCE said. They said when they went to the scene, our witness kept telling them different sides of the story altogether. Even the spot they claimed was the evidential spot of the explosion. 3 people who came pointed to 3 different places, and none of the location has evidence of explosion, as the expert observed. They said they visited the victim, Georgina, a granite seller, at the Anyal Polyclinic and met her in a very calm situation, adding that she had a lengthy discussion with the team, narrating how the incident happened in less than 2 minutes. She told them that she stepped on something, there was a loud noise, and she didn't know she was injured until someone drew her attention, Mr. Bashiru noted, while urging people to be on the lookout, and he cautioned against raising false alarm. So moving to our next 2. School sued over alleged negligence. Gracefield School Limited, the private school at Oyarifa in Accra, has been put before court over alleged negligence. On June 24, 2021, the school was said to have fed a 5-year-old pupil with banku, a local meal which it allegedly knew the girl was allergic to. So the plaintiff, who is being represented by Mr. Charles Kofi Kwadom, is claiming compensatory damages of $150,000 for the trauma, ill health, and inconvenience suffered by the minor. The plaintiff is also claiming punitive damages against the school for putting the life of the minor at risk, regardless of being aware of a health condition, maize or corn allergies. The plaintiff is further seeking special damages for 1,634 Ghana cedis, being the cost of seeking medical treatment for the minor. In a statement of claim, the minor's mother said she had informed the school of his minor's allergies. It said the mother on the admission form indicated that the minor had allergic rhinitis, corn or maize, and groundnut allergies. The defendant school, for this reason, had prior to June 24, 2021 lunch, giving the plaintiff alternate food whenever the banku was served to other students for lunch. The court held that because the minor was starving by lunchtime, she ate about 6 morsels of the banku before the school's lunchtime attendant changed it to a bowl of spaghetti for her. The court was told that after school, the minor fell asleep and woke up around 7 p.m. the same day and started vomiting profusely. Plaintiff between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. had vomited about 7 times. The statement of claim said the court held that she was rushed to 2 different hospitals and spent 2 days on admission. She was said to have suffered a lot of physical pains with the vomiting, leaving her weak and dehydrated. Again, he suffered emotionally and psychologically. So we're going on a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the business and political news. Stay tuned.
This is DJ Kobe Rich, the richest selector, and my co-host on Human Lillian and Alaji Zongo as guest on Impunimpu Debate Show. Last Friday, we discussed the topic: is it righteous to execute a criminal who killed another person? Let's listen to what happened.
And the guys here honestly, why Mrs. Mess, you know?
Oh, yeah, then.
Mrs. Mess. Musician. Musician and yet musician.
Okay, so of course, go for it.
This Friday, we are discussing another interesting topic. Who is responsible for student failure? Parents or teachers? Join us live on Facebook at Ghana Talk Show Radio. Follow us on all social media handles. Download our app from Apple Store and Google Play Store. You can share your comment via our WhatsApp number +233 202 544 614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
Welcome back from the break. If you just joined our live on Ghana Talks Radio, and this is the afternoon. So moving to some business stories. Ofori-Atta at fine private businessman but failed as finance minister, Ricketts-Hagan says. The member of parliament for the Cape Coast South constituency, Ricketts-Hagan, has joined calls for the removal of finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta. He said although the minister has an impressive record as a private businessman, his performance as the manager of the country's economy has been abysmal. Speaking on the big issue in reaction to news of Ghana's commencement of talks with the IMF for a bailout program, Ricketts said the finance minister failed to demonstrate control of the economy to affect the current situation that the country finds itself in. He said it will be most appropriate that he steps down as minister or be removed from office. He thinks Ken Ofori-Atta is a beleaguered finance minister and his performance has been abysmal. He has done well for himself as a private businessman, but in the public sector space, he has failed. The best thing for him to do is to resign. He doesn't believe in the IMF. He has made a lot of statements against the IMF. The buck stops with him and he must go, Ricketts-Hagan said. So moving to our next business story. Seeking IMF bailout doesn't mean E-Levy has failed, Oppong Nkrumah. Information Minister Oppong Nkrumah says although government had earlier insisted that seeking a bailout from the International Monetary Fund was not an option, it had no choice but to take the decision. So in an interview with the City Breakfast Show with Bernard Avli, Mr. Oppong Nkrumah said the E-Levy, which was government's solution to Ghana's economic crisis, has not done as well as expected so far because it has faced stiff opposition. He explained that the tax, just like any other revenue generation measure, will need to be given time to be widely accepted. The information minister explained that government had to take immediate action to alleviate the suffering of Ghanaians while the homegrown solution gains momentum. He noted that the government decision to go to the IMF for a bailout does not suggest that the E-Levy has failed and should be scrapped. So moving to some political stories now. NDC will boot out NPP in 2024 elections, Aseidu Nketiah, the General Secretary of the main opposition National Democratic Congress, has charged members of the party to brace themselves for a rigorous campaign that will boot out the governing New Patriotic Party in the 2024 general elections. He said, though many Ghanaians are fed up with the governing NPP, there is a need for NDC members to be united and rigorous in their fight to make the party attractive to the electorate. Mr. Aseidu Nketiah was speaking in War after swearing to over 1,000 defectors from the Progressive People's Party to the NDC. We encourage people to come along, so we form a united front. Once we do this, we will be able to form a formidable team that can withstand any other political party. Besides, we, the NDC, will boot out the MPP in the 2024 elections. Join us to achieve this, Mr. Aseidu Nketiah added. So moving to our next story. It's ridiculous for NPP to seek equalization with IMF bailout, Sammy Gyamfi. The National Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress, Sammy Gyamfi, has lashed out the New Patriotic Party over attempt to equalize and justify its decision to go for for an IMF bailout he described as pathetic and ridiculous. NPP communicators' use of NDC's IMF decision in 2015 to justify the recent Akufo-Addo decision to get the French support to salvage Ghana's ailing economy. In a Facebook post, the NDC National Executive said the conditions under which the John Mahama government went to the IMF were dearer than the present, factors that are driving the Akufo-Addo government to seek help. He said the Akufo-Addo's government is better resourced and drawing more revenues from the country's oil exploration activities and borrowed enough from the international markets than the NDC government under Mahama, hence must be held to higher expectations. According to him, the NPP wasted all the revenue resources on consumption, profligacy and corruption, hence must not attempt to rationalize its decision to go to the IMF with the NDC's move 7 years ago. So moving to international stories. Dozens of Nigerians fled from church awaiting second coming of Jesus. This story is kind of funny. So police in Nigeria have rescued 77 people, including children, from a church where they were confined in the southwestern state of Ondo. So some of them are believed to have been there for months. A police spokesperson said many of them had been told to expect the second coming of Jesus Christ in April and had abandoned school to witness the event. The raid came after a mother complained her children were missing and she thought they were in the church. Police say they are investigating suspected mass abduction after the raid on the whole Bible Believers Church in the Valentino area of Ondo town. The pastor of the Pentecostal church, David, and his deputy have been arrested while the victims have been taken into the care of the authorities. Preliminary investigation revealed that one pastor, Joshua Peter Asumasu, an assistant pastor in the church, was the one who told the members that rapture would take place in April, but later said it has been changed to September 2022 and told the young members to obey only their parents in the Lord, said police press officer. In all, police rescued 26 children, 8 teenagers and 43 adults. She added, this second coming is a Christian belief in the return of Jesus Christ after his biblical ascension to heaven. Rapture is the idea that Christian believers will be taken to heaven at the second coming. Anxiety has been high among Christians in the state since a deadly attack on another church. As I was saying, this story is kind of funny. It's kind of funny because I feel that Christians were ignorant. Because the Bible itself said even the father or the son himself doesn't know when he is coming. So how come a pastor, an ordinary pastor like you know when Jesus Christ is coming? Or you know when the rapture is happening? In the sense you made a statement that April he will be coming and now you change it to September 2022. It's kind of absurd. So we all should take note and we all should be, I'm not saying he's a fake pastor, but we all should be on alert. So moving to our next international story. Russia says its forces now have full control of East Ukraine region. Russia said on Sunday its forces and their alliance had taken control of Ukraine's eastern Luhansk region after capturing the final Ukraine holdouts of Lysychansk, although Ukraine has yet to comment after reporting heavy fighting there. After fierce Ukrainian resistance prevented Russian seizing the capital Kyiv after its February 24th invasion, Moscow sent its focus to taking full control of Lysychansk and Donetsk provinces in Ukraine's eastern Donbass region. So moving to our last story of the day, which is the entertainment news. Prince Harry Meghan Markle prepare for second tour or Oprah Winfrey interview. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are seemingly preparing to have a second tour or interview with Oprah Winfrey as an industry insider speculates about the Sussex bailout strategy before their upcoming podcast and memoirs. Last week, the couple was seen arriving at the famed talk show Marvin's Montecito estate, after which Now to Love Women's Day reported that they owe Oprah another interview. They will need to do interviews around that, and they owe Oprah one after her first interview was picked up to pieces, said a source. Oprah is their friend, but she wasn't happy, and they will be keen to make it up to her with some new royal juice from the Jubilee and to promote their own project. They were probably meeting with her to figure out the plan, the insider added. So, this is where I end the afternoon news right here on Ghana Talks Radio. I go by the name Regina Bless. Stay tuned for the lunchtime reading right in Ghana Talks Radio. See you.